Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope you all are continuing to have a blessed and wonderful day. Hope you had a day off, with today being a Juneteenth holiday and all. I'm doing good, doing well. God is good. Allah has really blessed us to see another beautiful day, and we give all the praises to Him. Getting to the topic for this video. So I was thinking about it last night, well, about last night. Um, y'all remember the TV show The Golden Girls with B. Arthur, Estelle Getty, Betty White, Rue McClanahan? It was on NBC from 1985 to 1992, and then I think they did one more year. They did a show called The Golden Palace, which was on from 92 to 93. It was only on for one season. That came on CBS, I believe. But in any event, I've been watching a lot of episodes of The Golden Girls. I watched a few episodes young when I was younger, but I just couldn't get into it. I just wasn't feeling it when I was a little kid and into my teenage years because it went off in '92, and I was 16. I was 9 when it premiered, and I was 16 when it went off the air, and 17 when the Golden Palace, whatever. But I never really could get into it. But now the past couple of weeks, I've really been getting into this show, and they were funny, man. They were just funny. Okay, I know I may be late to the party, but they are funny. Um, Estelle Getty, who plays Sophia Petrillo, I think that's how you said her last name. She was hilarious, just hilarious. Betty White played Rose. She was dingy, but Rose was funny. Betty White was hilarious. Uh, Dorothy, I can't pronounce her married name, but she was Sophia's daughter. She was very sarcastic and she and snarky. She was quick witted. She was funny. And you had Blanche, who was played by Rue McClanahan. She was very sexually promiscuous for a middle aged woman. All she cared about was man, man, man. That was Blanche, and Blanche was funny, and she was funny too. But they've all passed away. Um, Most recently, Betty White died on New Year's Eve, 2021, right before New Year's Day, 2022. So, yeah, she died, I believe, yeah, New Year's Day, 2021. Yup. I'm sorry, New Year's Eve. She died on New Year's Eve, 2021. So, yeah, she lived to see the last day of 2021 and passed away at the age of 99. I believe she was 2 weeks shy of turning 100. But yeah, she passed away. They all passed away. They were up in age. B. Arthur was, if y'all old enough to remember, or weren't born yet, 70s kid here, or 70s baby, I should say. B. Arthur was on the TV show Maud. Maud was a spinoff of All in the Family. As a matter of fact, she was Edith Bunker's cousin. And Maud was very funny. She was a feminist, and she was on that tip, which was very popular in the 70s. But she was funny. Maud was funny. But my topic for this video, the reason why I did this video is because I was thinking last night that, you know what? Four single older black women could have been Golden Girls. That could have been about four single older black women. Think about it. Just let your imagination run wild with you for a second. Could you imagine LaWanda Page, who played Aunt Esther on Sanford and Son, Esther Rowe, who played Florida Evans on the show Good Times, Denise Nicholas, who played in Let's Do It Again. I think she played the wife of Bill Cosby. Very, very funny movie with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier from 1975. Let's Do It Again. Denise Nicholas also played the girlfriend of Chief Gillespie in the show In the Heat of the Night. Chief Gillespie being played by the late great Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker in the 70s and into the 80s in the TV show Archie's Place. She played his girlfriend on that show. Denise Nicholas, very, very attractive black woman. She's still around. I believe she's 78 years old. Very attractive, even now. And then the older lady, the Ma character, or Sophia, the lady played by Sophia, could have been played by, and I can't think of her name, but the grandmother on Family Matters. She could have played the eldest lady. She could have played the eldest lady. Could y'all imagine them four in a sitcom? These four ladies in a sitcom? Could y'all imagine that? That would have been hilarious. Esther Rolle, LaWanda Page, Denise Nicholas, and the grandma from Family Matters, Carl Winslow's mother. That would have been hilarious. That would have been a hilarious sitcom. Four single older black women living together. Oh my God, that would have been funny. LaWanda Page, Aunt Esther, could have played the role of Dorothy, very snarky and sarcastic, quick-witted. Esther Rolle could have played the role of Rose, not saying that she would have been a dimwit like Rose was, but Esther Rolle could have played the kind of like St. Clair from Living Single. You know, very naive, sweet-natured, trusting, too trusting. That could have been Esther Rolle. And Denise Nicholas could have played Blanche. Denise Nicholas, very attractive woman, older black lady. She could have been the one who was men crazy, played Blanche. And the grandma from Family Matters, Carl Winslow's mother, could have played Sophia. Very honorary, you know, kind of like a you know how older people can get at that age sometimes. Can be very snarky, very ornery. That could have been played by Carl Winslow's mother, the lady that played Carl Winslow's mother in Family Matters. That would have been excellent. That would have been an excellent sitcom. Excellent sitcom. Very funny. I argue that it would have been funnier than The Golden Girls with B. Arthur, Rue McClanahan, Estelle Getty, and Betty White. I believe that sitcom with LaWanda Page, Esther Rolle, I can't think of this woman's name. Oh, the grandma from Family Matters. I can't think of her name. I can see her face, but I don't know her name. I forgot her name. Her and Denise Nicholas, they would have been funnier than the Golden Girls with those four ladies I mentioned, aforementioned. They would have been funnier than them, especially when you consider that LaWanda Page was a comedian. Very funny woman. Very funny woman. LaWanda Page was a comedian. So that would have made the show even more funnier. Y'all saw how she was on Sanford and Son. When Fred would insult her, she would come back, or she would insult Fred and he would come back. You fish-eyed fool, you beady-eyed sucker, and she would hit him with her purse. High glory, praises due to God. High glory, Aunt Esther, very funny woman. She was a comedian. I think Red Fox helped start her career. If I'm not mistaken, her and Red Fox had gone back years, even before Sanford and Son, and he helped jumpstart her career and got her into Sanford and Son. You know, she went on to star in Different Strokes. She was in episodes of A-Man. She was in the movie Friday at the very beginning. She was one of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Are you ready for Jehovah's return? And Cube slams it on her face. Well, F you too, have dead MFer. Come on, sisters. That was funny. LaWanda Page was hilarious. Rest in peace. She's going on now. Esther Rowe has gone on. The lady that played the grandma in Family Matters, she's passed away. If someone can, I hate referring to her like that. If someone can find her name and type it in the chat, it'd be greatly appreciated. If anyone's tuning in, if you know the lady who played Carl Winslow's mother on Family Matters, if y'all could type it into the chat there, it'd be greatly appreciated. But they would have been very funny in the show. Very, very, very funny. But you know, NBC and these major TV networks like to do, they like to buffoon our shows and take them off the air, even when they're popular. And they probably would have did it to this show. So who knows? But these four women would have been great in the sitcom together. Esther Rowe, LaWanda Page, the grandma from Family Matters, and Denise Nicholas. Very, 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 very funny in the sitcom. I can only imagine. Hit the thumbs up button, smash the thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. If you think about it, Living Single was a younger, hipper version, black version of the Golden Girls. Yeah, Kyle and Overton were in it. But if you think about it, 4 single black women, they were young. They grew up in the hip hop generation, which is what I grew up in, and many of y'all grew up. Queen Latifah, Erica Alexander, Kim Coles, and Kim Fields. They all grew up around the same time we did. They grew up in the hip hop era. Like I said, Living Single was a younger, hipper, blacker version of the Golden Girls. It was. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 single women. St. Clair, played by Kim Coles, who was a comedian, very, very, very funny woman. Very funny woman. She was on the first season of The Living Color. Kim Coles and Khadijah, played by Queen Latifah, they were related. Queen Latifah was from, had started Flavor Magazine, and she moved her cousin from Minnesota, which was St. Clair. She moved her from Minnesota to come live with her. If y'all remember, Rose Nyland, played by Betty White, was from Minnesota, from a town called St. Olaf. She was always talk about St. Olaf. And that's actually, it's a township in Minnesota called St. Olaf Township. It's actually in Minnesota. Look it up. But in any event, and then you had Max, played by Erica Alexander, Maxine Shaw, who was an attorney. Regine said she was a freeloader. And Regine was kind of like Blanche. She was. Regine was man hungry. She was crazy about men, trying to get a man, just like Blanche. But Regine was a fashionista. Blanche was worked at an art museum, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of similarities between Living Single and the Golden Girls. There are a lot of similarities. Rose Nyland, played by Betty White, she was dim-witted. She was a ditz. St. Clair wasn't really a ditz. She was just gullible, naive, and very trusting, sweet-natured. She was very sweet-natured, and like I said, just a lot on the naive side. She was very naive and just trusting, and just, you know, she wasn't street smart. Let me put it like that. She wasn't street smart. She was just a small town girl from Minnesota, and like I said, she was kind of goofy and naive. That was St. Clair, but she wasn't stupid at all. And the older snarky woman was Max. Max was snarky. just like kind of like Mom. She was just like Mom, played by Estelle Getty. Now, the one who was always in an off again, on again relationship was Dorothy. Dorothy, who couldn't find a date. B. Arthur, the late B. Arthur, and Queen Latifah. She was dating Scooter, but she didn't have, really had good luck with men, and that was Khadijah. A lot of similarities. Pay attention now. A lot of similarities between the Golden Girls and Living Single. A lot of similarities. The difference is Living Single was a younger, hipper, blacker version of the Golden Girls, and we can relate to it, especially those of us who grew up on hip hop and grew up in that era, and was coming of age. Because when Living Single came on or debuted, I think I was in my last year of high school, 93, 94. Yeah, it was I was in high school. So I was 17, 18 years old. So and that was great for a great show for us. It was a great show for us because we could relate to it. Queen Latifah, Khadijah, her character Khadijah James, I believe her name was. Was it Khadijah James? She was starting she had started a hip hop magazine called Flavor. Flavor was kind of almost like the Source, but Flavor was her own, was her baby, a business minded woman. She employed her cousin from Minnesota, um, St. Clair. She worked with her. She was like a receptionist. She worked with her, worked for her. Max was an attorney, successful attorney, and Regine was a fashionista. Man hungry, yes, man crazy, but she was a fashionista. She would do people's weddings. She was a career-minded woman. They all were career-minded women. St. Clair went on to become an actress, but she was taking acting classes, so she went on to become an actress. So they all were career-minded women. And then you had the brother Kyle, Kyle Barker, who was on Wall Street talking about stocks, investments in the 90s, and Overton, who ran the building, the brownstone that they lived in. Overton and St. Clair dated, and they later got married. She became, they got married. She was pregnant, and they got married, so they became a couple. But he ran the building. He ran that brownstone. He was the Mr. Fix It man, the super, if you will. Very, very, very great show. And I argue that Living Single was better than the Golden Girls by far. It was funnier. It was our show because it was B1. It was for us, by us. And it was a B1 show because it showed Black people being career minded and helping out family. And Overton was a Mr. Fix It man. He ran that brownstone that they all lived in, and everything went by Overton. He ran that building. Our brother that was mechanically inclined. We need more shows like that. I love Living Single. But again, like I said when I started this video, 4 older single Black women could have done Golden Girls. Esther Rowe, who played Florida Evans, LaWanda Page, who played Aunt Esther, the grandma from Family Matters. I wish I knew this lady's name. The grandma that played Carl Winslow's mother on Family Matters, and Denise Nicholas, who played In the Heat of the Night and in the movie Let's Do It Again. Very, very funny movie. She played with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. Very, very funny movie. They could have done the show Golden Girls easily, and it would have been a smash. It would have been a hit, and we all would have loved it. We would have loved it. I guarantee you, especially in the mid '80s into the early '90s. But that's just my take on it. Sometimes these things just pop in my head. I have a thought, and this just popped in my head while watching the Golden Girls. I'm like, 4 older single Black women could have done this show. Hell, my grandmother and 3 of her sisters would have been fun. Oh my God, they would have been so funny. My grandmother and three of her sisters, they would have been hilarious. But again, these things just pop in my head. Maybe it's Allah giving me these ideas and me just putting it out there. What have you, what's have you. But I just thought I'd share that with y'all. So, and I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting this channel and my podcast because I can't do these without y'all. And I don't take that for granted, and I don't take it lightly one bit. So thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting your brother. I'm gonna hop off of here, y'all. I think I said enough. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day, whatever you may be doing. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the holiday, the Juneteenth holiday. And like I always leave y'all, if you're going out celebrating Juneteenth, please, 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 brothers as well as sisters, beware and be aware of your surroundings. There have been shootings going on during these Juneteenth celebrations. I know there was a shooting outside Chicago this weekend. There was a Juneteenth celebration. One person got shot. I don't know how many people got shot, but I think a couple people died. I know in St. Louis, one person got shot, one person died, and 22 were injured in the shooting in St. Louis. So y'all just be safe out here, man. Just be safe. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Now more so than ever. This devil is busy. So please, please be safe. Beware and be aware of your surroundings. Y'all take care of yourselves and each other. I love y'all. And like I said, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, especially on subjects such as this. This is just an ideal I had, a thought I had, but many people may disagree with it, and that's cool. But let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Please, let's do that, y'all. Like this video, hit that thumbs up button, smash it down, hit that subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here, and share this video. Share it, share it, share it, share it. All right, y'all. Till next time, I love y'all. Take care. Peace and blessings, and much love.